is
Zaza. Oh, yeah.
Fitzy and
Sweet as.
Wippa.
Welcome to the podcast, guys. Guys, the pod's on. Hey, everyone, shut up. The pod's just started.
Oh, it's no.
I want to listen to Fitzy and Wippa.
Their ears already.
I would never hook up with my sister, just for the record, off the top.
Oh, I wouldn't do it again.
That's my sister or sisters. Tom, I wouldn't mind having a quick chat to Lucy Ivy late at night, if you know what I mean.
She's married.
Mm-hmm.
She was married a long
kids.
time ago. She got married a long time ago, so legally you can't.
Missed the boat there. This is a story about a couple that was together. And then there was a bit of a twist. There was a little bit of a twist when they looked into the origin of the families.
Around the twist?
No, nothing to do with around the twist.
Damn.
And
Chicken twisties?
Nothing to do with chicken twisties.
Damn.
But they found out something really special that they had in common, the two people that were together. But you can't choose who you love, can you, mate? Nope. Love you, mate.
The Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
Beautiful story about a couple that met online, actually, and they had common interests, and that's normally what draws you towards a love interest, although opposites attract, we know that as well, guys, and different worlds brought together can create a beautiful combination, can't they? I'm smiling as I speak because Radio 101 says the listener can hear you smile. I hope you can hear me smiling. It's a beautiful story. They met and went out for dinner.
Lost it.
Anyway, they realised they had some common interests and what was fantastic. Then they realised they had something quite unique in common, should I say. She revealed to him that she had been adopted. And he then says, "You gotta be kidding me. So was I." Oh. Both of them, in common, found out that they only realised when they were at high school, which was beautiful.
Is that's probably... Okay, so that's what we're talking. When they're in high school, becoming an adult, that's when they're sat down by their foster parents and told that they're adopted.
This was at the start of the relationship. 6 years later, they're still together, which is just beautiful. Until the other day, they said, "Hey, you know what? We both have something really unique about each other," whatever I'm trying to say. Why don't we find out who our family is? Why don't we go down that path of find my family and do a bit of research here and see, do you want to meet your real parents? Yeah, I've always wanted to meet my real parents. Oh, so have I. Great. So why don't we spend this month trying to work out who our mum and dad are? They went down that path and they worked out who their family was, only to reveal,
Oh, yuck.
after 6 years, believe it or not, they were brother and sister.
Get out of town.
I knew you were going there.
What are the chances?
Wow.
I mean, we're not technically doing that segment right now, but Macca, if you find the sting, it'll certainly suit. I mean, to go home, to walk in and go, "I found the birth certificate. My mum's name was John. Sorry, my dad's name was John. My mum's name was Christine. Oh, so was mine."
What do you do?
Macca.
Do you break up? Or do you go, well, we love each other?
Well,
I mean, they've lived as a couple for 6 years.
ethically, you shouldn't you?
Yeah.
Ethically or legally?
Well, no. Well, I know it's illegal, but you have not known each other the whole time. You've fallen in love with someone that you've had no idea you had any relation
And
to.
if they'd never looked into it, you would never have looked at the relationship, even if they look kind of similar, and thought that's not okay.
Over the years, they have had those comments, says people saying that you actually look quite similar.
Could you still stay in love, continue, get married, but not have any children?
That's the other thing, because you have run into difficulties there, don't you?
I think the ick factor would play on your mind. It would start to, get in there, and you'd start to go,
I don't know.
See, no, the other thing as well, if you both find out, as if you're telling anybody.
It happens a lot in the country, mate. Cousins are one thing, but this is even closer, isn't it?
You've watched Farmer Wants a Wife last night, and you've come to a conclusion. None of them are brothers and sisters.
is this like a McLeod's daughter story or something you want to bring up?
I'm not saying the people on Farm Wants a Wife. I'm not saying they're brothers and sisters, but I'm saying the likelihood of people in the country getting married and their cousins, it happens a lot.
Well, small towns.
Happens more than you
You're
think.
just thinking small towns.
Oh, and who's this? Glad you're at Christmas. Yeah, I'm a bit lonely too.
I'm just
I don't
disappointed
think
that they've
so.
both found out who their parents are, and now this story's out there. And
What would
we're
you
talking.
do? Like, imagine if you were in a situation and then you went, "Hey, Hamish."
Yeah. I mean, we look almost identical, so that would be the first thing. But no, do you know what? I would call it off. you would say, nah, no more, this isn't right. But the problem is, I reckon you'd have no relationship after that at all. Because it's very hard to go from, we did sexy time, to let's just chat at family lunch.
I'd continue on with it.
Yeah, but you're a sicko.
Not really.
Yeah.
I'm in love and I've got a heart.
You watched Sex in the City with your sisters growing up, so I suppose it's probably a little bit easier
But
for
I
you.
never looked at my sisters like that, if that's what you're
No, but if you didn't know they were
suggesting.
your sisters.
No, but I wouldn't look and go, oh, she's more my type. Out of the two of them, I'm not judging them.
What
all.
I don't
They're
understand,
they
when
look
you're
different.
a teenager and there's hormones running and you're watching Sex in the City with your sisters, there's some pretty full-on moments in that show.
Yeah, but I was
Do you
even
look at your sisters and go, oh, should we be watching this?
No, but I was even younger than that. But I remember watching some of it, and there was a scene where they were being extremely intimate. I assume it was Samantha, and there was a guy sort of on top
Okay,
of her.
don't tell us.
Today you're
Just
on
say it's an intimate
I think
scene.
I've had too much coffee, to be honest. I'm a bit shaky. Anyway, a very intimate scene in a non-traditional position. And I said to Mum, what are they doing? Mum said, I'll explain later. She just palmed.
Christmas lunch.
She palmed it off. My sister sat there giggling on the couch with Mum, and Mum was giggling
when
too.
Dr. Tiffany gets here.
It's my cross-dressing uncle, if for anybody tuning in for the first time. And I don't think he would have even done this position.
See,
Bit old,
that's the worst. Like when you're with your parents and
yeah.
you
And
used
there's
to
a
watch
scene
a
on.
movie.
Oh.
It's the worst. But
Yeah, but when you're young enough and you don't actually know what's going on the screen, you do ask those questions.
how are they letting you watch Sex in the City at that age?
It was a great show,
It kind of, in their defence, it kind of escalated very quickly.
didn't it?
I think it started off as one thing and
I mean,
really
it
shut up.
says, we used to love it when the girls would just shop and,
Tried to help you out. Don't
when
take me
they were
down.
right, and they would shop and everything, and the next thing you know, it turned into sort of some soft adult material.
I don't like watching sex scenes with Gary around.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just a bit like, are we both sitting here watching this?
Do you break the silence?
With what?
No, that makes it worse.
Oh, geez, he's having a crack.
No, I
Well, I
just
wouldn't have
sort
done
of-
that.
No, sometimes.
But
you get
then
a
there's
cup of tea.
couples that sit down and watch adult material together.
I mean, different though if you're in the vibe.
I would find that awkward. I wouldn't know what to say. Like,
Darling, stop touching
should we
me.
try that?
We're driving down a dark road at the moment, and I don't know if it's a no-through road or not, Tom.
How much is a subscription to Lobster Tube, Tom?
Cheese whips.
Wow.
The only thing that can save us is Last Man Standing,
Well done,
guys.
Tom.
It's going to be Fitzy at this rate.
$10,000. How good is exploring our amazing backyard again?
And ticking off all the big Aussie things: pineapples, bananas, melons.
For hearing you say that makes me hungry.
Head to whatif.com and start planning your big Aussie adventure.
What if it's Aussie for travel? This is a story from a TikToker. Now, I'd play you the audio of Emma Claire telling her own story, but unfortunately, throughout the whole video, she starts it with, okay, guys, I'm using this primer, and this is the brand that I'm using. Then she starts putting primer on her face, and then she starts telling the story about how one of her bridesmaids ripped her off at the wedding.
Okay.
And then she'll get to a next point of the story, and she'll go, okay, guys, and this is the foundation I'm using.
Okay,
So then she'll
so-
put the foundation on and then tell you the next part of the story, and then she'll go, this is the mascara I'm using today.
How
So
to do your
really, there's a
face.
few plugs. Well, I got sucked in and bought all the primer, which was weird.
Your skin looks great.
Yeah, you're glowing, mate.
This is an amazing story because she said leading up to her wedding, she left it up to the bridesmaids. They all had a different role. And this bridesmaid in particular, her role was to book the accommodation and be in charge of all the money. With all the money together, accommodation, wedding, with dresses, bridesmaids' dresses, all the hiring of the cars, all the stuff that they had to do, there was around about $5,000. Everything was going smoothly until 2 weeks before the wedding when things started to get weird. I got a message from her and she was starting all this drama. I was like, this is really odd. Then I started getting messages from all the other bridesmaids saying, I don't want to alarm you, Emma, but this particular person is starting drama in the bridesmaid group and we're not sure what to do about it. This went on for a couple of hours and then all of a sudden this girl just went completely silent.
Disappearing act.
No one could get in contact with her. No one could ring her.
What?
She wasn't replying to messages. They were going, what are we going to do? So they rang the accommodation that they thought that she'd booked for the wedding,
Yep.
which was a week away. Someone else was in the accommodation. She hadn't actually booked the accommodation.
She's done a runner.
It was already booked under another family's name.
Kidding.
And the accommodation said, sorry, but we don't know who you're talking about, and it's already booked out, so you can't have it. She rang the mother of the bridesmaid, and the mother went, "Oh, okay, I think I know what's going on here. She's done this before.
We got an issue.
I will transfer you the money, $5,000 straight away."
Man.
So they sorted it out, but the daughter had done a runner with the cash.
$5,000, decent amount. Do you know what she may have done? She may have gone, I've never had $5,000 in my hand before. Now, if I go down to the lucky shop, I might be able to double my money, say, on roulette. Could double my money, give the $5 back, I'll go and spend that on the accommodation, and then I've got $5 to myself. And unfortunately, it hasn't landed her way.
It's the train spotting moment. Remember in the movie? When Ewan McGregor's character, he has the opportunity and they've all got the money together and they're all asleep on the ground and he sees it there, the bag of money. And he says to himself, I don't really want to hang out with these guys anymore.
See you later.
There's a bag of cash.
Do you know,
we could split it all together and still be friends, or I could go with all the money and this is my opportunity.
we had a bucks party one time at a friend's house. So we didn't go out for it. It was just at a house. It was nicely contained, but there was some adult entertainment that was organised. And one guy, and I won't mention his name, but he was in charge of the payment for that service.
Tommy.
Tommy, thanks for that. What was interesting... No, it wasn't Tommy. He's an innocent man. What was interesting was the entertainment was meant to arrive at around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and they were sort of serving drinks and things and getting to know the guys. But what happened was the guy who was in charge of the money, he had around $2,500. He had met the entertainment, two of them, when they arrived at the front door, taken the opportunity to get to know them personally just in the front room of the house.
What?
So while everybody was gathered out the back thinking, where was that entertainment? Hang on a minute. Where's so-and-so gone? So he'd taken both of the helpers for the party into one of the front rooms and spent the money on himself.
Probably looking for a cleaner story, but...
Yeah, wow, that set the bar.
Says I really wanted to dress it up on a Monday. I really wanted to set it
I
high.
had a story about
Certainly
Dicko
did
at
set the bar.
the Portlangar Footy Club at a punters club, and we always used to raise money for the footy trip at the end of the year. It was a huge. We had $11,000.
Wow.
Dicko down at the footy club decided to go back and see his family in Perth with the whole $11,000. We never saw him again. If anyone brings up his name down at the footy club,
Really?
it is mud.
Curse.
What, he flew business class, he's drinking
We
champagne.
never saw the money again. $11,000 gone.
What a criminal.
Heather in Ashfield, who ran off with your best friend's money?
Hi, guys.
Hi, Hev.
So, my best friend was dating this guy for 7 years, thought it was the love of her life. All the rest of it, they had a terrible breakup. All these things start coming out of the wash. And not only does she find out that he had been secretly dating this stripper on the side for a while, she also found out that the loan that they co-signed together for his business, he hadn't been paying back, so she got lumped with a $25,000 loan. And he checked himself into a hospital for psychiatric treatment, so when it went to court, he could claim that he was not in his right mind.
Poor thing.
That's cold, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a cold reality check.
Gosh, she hadn't been paying it at all. She had to pay it all.
Not easy.
No, it was just gaining interest.
Has anyone else done Red Cross door knock and then mismanaged the takings?
No.
No.
Oh my God, you should go straight
Did
to
you do
hell.
that?
No, I didn't do it, but I heard about kids at school that would do the door knock, gather a couple of coins. Mac is nodding his head.
What, skim off the
Macca
top?
did it as well. No, and then they'd go out for lunch with the money. And I dobbed them in. I said, that's a disgrace.
Oh, you are.
I said,
Was that while you were eating your crab?
I went straight back to the school, says, and I went straight to the principal's office. I said, you got to hunt these boys down.
No, we're probably
'cause they are
looking for-
breaking the rules.
Cleaner stories than that.
Okay. I've been not really on fire, am I?
terrible.
Just warming up, guys.
On fire
Just
this
warming
morning.
up.
Chris in Wollongong, who ran off with the money, Chris?
A mate of mine in primary school, we did jump rope for heart.
Oh, yeah, good one.
And anyway, he told his parents that he handed in the money. He told the school that he never raised any money.
Well played.
And about 2 weeks later, his old man was going through his bag to check if he had any homework and found a little sandwich bag with about $500 left.
Oh, he's jumped a few ropes there, hasn't he? And threw a few hoops as well.
That is such a dog act.
But I'd love to know what he was going to spend it on. Like, did he have an idea, or did he just think, hang on a minute, I can collect a bit of money if I tell two different stories here?
I think from memory, he was just blowing it at the canteen and like buying people chocolate milk.
Yeah, how to win friends and influence people.
Imagine chocolate milk.
$500 back in those days.
Massive.
Mate, just
Massive.
making it rain at the canteen with your buttered rolls and your chalk buds, just buying kids everything. Oh, it would have been everything. Terry in the Central Coast. Who ran off with the money, Tess?
Mate, it was my ex.
Oh.
We had a phone bill account together for all the kids and all that, and she racked up some big data charges and all that, left me with a big amount to pay. And I also had a credit card that was linked to a storage unit.
Yeah.
And she was supposed to pay half of that. She didn't.
Oh, Tez,
Not
she's run
angry
off.
yeah.
Do you know where she is? Do you contact her anymore, Tez, or she's run off altogether?
Oh, no, I was still in contact. She, I only just got to send Father's Day out to kids yesterday, so...
Okay.
Terry.
So she stole your money and she stole your heart too, Terry.
No, mate, she took my kids and took everything.
Do you know what? I unfortunately did that. I told you about the girl when I went over to the States, and she flew all the way over there, long-distance relationship, Sarah, and when I got there, she goes, I'm so glad you're here because I needed to do it face-to-face. I don't think this is going to work.
So rude.
I just forked out $2,500. Return trip to LA.
I mean, how do you get back at someone like that?
Phoenix, Arizona.
What do you do? What do
she
you
went
do?
to uni the next day,
What did
and
you-
I was on the phone back to friends, family, on her auntie and uncle's phone, because we were house sitting at her auntie and uncle's house.
Yeah.
I would have been on there for 8 hours, just
Racking up the bill.
calls.
Is that the only thing you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would do that too.
Look, that jerry
every
can
room.
full of petrol. I regret it now. I shouldn't have done it. I mean, I probably, not the full house. I would have done maybe just a quarter of the house.
Yeah, you've been busy.
It came down quick.
Yes, it did.
The Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
One dad was given the naming rights to their first-born daughter, which was very exciting. And the wife said to him, just think about what you really love. He said, okay, terrific. We've had a beautiful little girl, and I would like to name her Pakora, which is a spiced fritter with a chickpea batter from his favourite Indian restaurant. Yep, he goes to the captain's table once a week for his favourite Indian. He gets the pakora, a bit of chicken makhani, gets the garlic naan, sits down, and he is the happiest man on earth.
Can't name your kid after a food, can you?
Can't you? Why not?
Well,
mean-
Gwyneth did it. Apple.
Oh, yeah. Apple, I suppose. What else has been?
Nice recall, says.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm racking the brain now. We can just listen to a bit of Indian music.
I know Ted was close to be going porterhouse, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. He was, or Sancho Bao as well. Just think of your favourite dish. Name your kid after.
Little hot dog Ivy, I'm really a big fan of.
Oh, donuts.
No,
Donuts Ivy.
The other story was the huge soccer fan, and his wife said to him, don't even think about it. You are not naming anything after your favourite team.
Yep.
He said, yeah, sweet, no worries. But I really do love the name, and he came up with a fake meaning behind it and called the kid Lanesra. And she said, you know what, I really like it. Where'd you get Lanesra from? And after the child was born and it was official, he said it's Arsenal backwards.
Got your beauty.
Awesome.
God, you're an absolute
what a
beauty.
bloke.
You just got to think about what you love. 13, 24, 10. If you got a story for us. Samantha in Ermington, who were you named after?
The bewitched character, Samantha, and then it's Elizabeth Montgomery, so Samantha Elizabeth.
Oh. Samantha Elizabeth.
Did you ever get into Bewitched at all? Did you watch it back when you got older, Samantha?
I loved it when I was a little kid.
Yeah, it was-
That was the show where the nose would twitch, yeah?
Was.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, we spoke to a Charlene before. Now, there's absolutely no way you're going to call your kid Charlene for any other reason than you were a huge Neighbours fan.
Well, when you call her Kylie, then?
No, because there's plenty of Kylies, but there's not many Charlenes.
I don't think there's that many Kylies either.
You don't reckon?
No, tell me someone you know called Kylie.
Kylie Gillies.
Yep.
Channel 7's Kylie Gillies. Tell me a Charlene that you know.
I don't.
There you go. I'm sorry we had to fight about this on air, Sarah, but if points need to be proven, then we will go through this process.
Colleen's given us a call from Webb's Crossing. Tell us about your daughter.
So my daughter, Sarah Louise, was named after a stupid bird that got eaten. The bird thought it was my husband's girlfriend, and she'd attack me every time I went anywhere near my husband. And one day we went out and we came home, and there was a snake in her cage, and she was the bulge in the snake's belly. silly.
Oh, no, the bird got... So the bird was called Sarah. Is that correct?
The bird was called Sarah, yep, and then my firstborn daughter, when she was born, my husband put his foot down and he was adamant to call our daughter Sarah.
Oh, no. And,
For the bird?
and then so did the bird attack you, Colleen?
She attacked me every time I went anywhere near my husband.
So, I mean, if you've got a snake in the house and a bird, you're asking for trouble.
I thought you were
reckon.
talking about an ex-girlfriend.
The snake actually wasn't ours. It was a neighbour's who escaped and went into the cage was outside in the backyard, and the snake actually escaped from a neighbour's house and ate the bird.
Oh, no. Wow. Colleen, thanks for you.
I mean, Colleen, you wouldn't have been too upset about that one, would you?
No, not at all.
All right, 13 24 10. Have you got any other stories like this where for some reason you've kept it quiet and you've got a name in there for one of your kids because it was something you really loved?
Karen in Quakers Hill, who was your daughter named after, Karen?
So the story goes that my husband actually liked Sigourney Weaver as an actress.
Yes.
And back when we were pregnant with my daughter, we decided that we liked Sigourney Weaver's character in the movie Alien.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if
Ripley.
you know that's right. That's what the name was. But all the way through the pregnancy, my husband was convinced that the name was actually Riley. So we ended up calling her Riley.
But what's the actual name?
Ripley.
Awesome. So out of
I was
complete...
like, there's no way I'm going to name my kid Ripley, mate. That's ridiculous.
Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Oh, you would have copped it, believe it or not, your whole life, would you?
So
she
you went
ended
with
up
Riley because of a mistake in a name of a movie that you loved. Oh, my God.
Because, no, he liked Sigourney Weaver. He thought she was really hot.
Isn't that amazing, Karen? Thank you so much.
That's okay.
What a beauty. What a beauty.
That is
Remember we took the phone call from somebody who the parents loved Holden cars. So they had one of the kids was called a Bellina. One was called, I don't know, what's another one?
You're making it up now, Commodore.
Calais. There was a Commodore.
Calais.
And they had like 7 kids, all named after different models of Holdens.
Well, see, Auntie Trish
The
knows
Barina.
my cousin Shane. And there was an old Western movie, Shane. And Shane was he'd come and save this family. And there's the last scene of the movie was a kid, because Shane had to go off. He had to go do his own thing. And the kid just yelled out, "Shane, come back, Shane." And she loved that bit so much and got so emotional, she named him Shane.
And did Shane come back and help your family at all?
Shane hasn't come back and helped the family at all.
What? You don't appreciate the homemade bourbon?
Poor Auntie.
The Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
So Saturday night, right, we're at home, and the possum problem seems to have gone away. We haven't heard possums for about 6 months. And then I'm not joking, because sometimes we can hear, off in the distance, you can hear fireworks from Darling Harbour, but they're not really that loud. But I felt like there was an earthquake going off. Like the sound in the house was just... It was full on. It was crazy. And it went for a while, Sarah. It would have gone for a minute or two. Now, we thought immediately that the possum family were back up on our roof, so we sent Beastie the dog up there, and what we do, we let him into the roof. I put him up into the roof, and he goes crazy, scares the possum off, and they can smell him. They don't come back for a while.
Fixed.
No possums. There was no possums.
What?
I didn't know where this sound was coming from. It was really weird. I said to BJ, "Is that an earthquake?" She goes, "I don't know what it was." Anyway, continuing. Had a couple more wines. Then I get a text message from the next door neighbour, Ralph. And Ralph goes, "Did you hear that noise?" We were, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, my whole staircase glass just shattered out of nowhere." What? Out of nowhere. He said the kids are in bed. I was on the couch with a wine myself. He said the shrapnel from the glass cracked his wine glass as he was sitting on the couch.
Could have taken his eye out.
Whole staircase just shattered. Broke. And it was this huge noise because one side went and then another side would shatter and it just kept going. And that's what we thought the earthquake was.
I hate to tell Ralph. I would suggest there's a ghost in his house.
Well, this is the thing.
Do you know, I've told you that story about when I stayed at a mate's place and I stayed at his house, just Lisa and I, and the place was so haunted, We left the free accommodation and went and paid for a hotel.
But that was a mirror, wasn't it, or a shower screen?
It was
or
a
something?
shower screen. He didn't believe me. Then in the middle of the night, he went, "Oh my God, what was that sound?" Walked into the bathroom and said, "Why is there water all over the floor?" It wasn't water. It was shattered glass.
No, well, see, this happens. We've Googled
Oh,
it.
my
Ralph
God.
said to me, I've Googled it, and it happens quite regularly.
In dramatic temperature changes, sure.
Well, there's thermal stress, but there's also a lot of glass has nickel sulfide in it. And over the years, small stainless steel shavings containing nickel change structure and grow over time, causing internal stress. And the glass, inevitably, is always going to shatter at some stage.
And Ralph, it should have been safety glass too.
Well, see, he said the kids... I said, did the kids wake up? He said one of the kids woke up. The
But
other
could
two...
they come downstairs, or there were no stairs there?
That was everywhere.
So everything was gone.
It was everywhere.
So
all the glass was gone.
The fact that one panel went and then another one went, that's weird. I mean, I hope he's got insurance or, that's still under warranty.
You are right, though, Whip. A lot of people say it does indicate that evil is leaving your home and good fortune is about to arrive.
Evil is leaving your home. It's in the house.
No,
Did
but
it
it's
go
leaving.
next door to your place? Because that sucks.
Well, yeah. I felt a bit evil Sunday morning after the wines I was having, so don't I?
Any ghosts in your place for Father's
I
Day?
cleaned up afterwards.
Oh, my God.
But I want to hear about this. When did the glass just shatter? Where were you? So you were in a bathroom?
Yeah, in a bathroom. Sometimes you hear it happening too with pool fences. When you've got like glass pool fences, they will shatter with no explanation. You're right, the thermal is the big one. Temperatures can often strike.
Yep.
And if there's weakness in the glass, that'll shatter it.
But sometimes there's nickel shavings of nickel in glass, and they say that over years they expand and it gets to a point where it just shatters the glass. That is so scary.
I would
Imagine if the kids are on the
I
street.
would love to know if you've thought possibly your house might be haunted or you've heard something before, and the next thing you know, glass shatters in the house. Very common if there's an angry ghost living under the roof.
Where did the glass shatter? 13, 20.
Ralph, all
14.
right?
Yeah, he's okay.
Panicking?
And you know what I said, mate? Look after yourself. That sounds pretty full on. I realised when I got off the phone, probably could have gone over and helped him out cleaning it up.
Nah.
Again, the evil's coming to your house.
But I was so comfy watching the AFL finals, I was not moving.
Sorry, Ralph.
Caroline in Enfield, where did the glass shatter?
In my kitchen, the oven, we were asleep and we heard the biggest explosion. We came downstairs and the whole front panel of the oven exploded and shattered all downstairs.
Oh, my gosh.
Do you reckon the ghosts' cupcakes were ready, Caroline, and they wanted to get them out?
So. I think so.
Lucky you weren't standing in front of it. I always think that when I put the microwave on, if this explodes, so I always stand to the side.
Good idea,
My son was
sis.
heading down to have it up and go. Lucky he didn't go down because he would have been covered in glass.
Yeah.
Hey, Caroline, also, great opportunity to get a new oven off your husband. Well done.
Yes, absolutely.
Caroline, have you ever had any weird activity in your house of the spiritual nature?
No, not really, no.
What are you doing now? It's a ghost. It was a
Talking to her like
ghost.
she's a kid, mate.
Thanks, Caroline.
Justin in Silverdale, where did the glass shatter, mate?
Morning, team. A neighbour of mine, he does a lot of custom stainless steel work and glass panelling around pools and stuff like that. He was actually pulling some panels out of a pool area for a couple that they had one panel explode, and all they remember was hearing a vehicle go past with crap-sounding exhaust, and they think maybe the frequency out of the exhaust has caused the glass panel to shatter. So he was there to pull out all the panels that were remaining because they didn't want any responsibility for any more panels but exploding, and he was there to replace the pool fence.
It's not a motor if it's not a rotor.
Yeah, well said, mate.
mate.
Well said. That's fascinating.
Someone's done the turbo.
Can happen.
Shattered the glass.
Remember we had an opera singer in here one time who shattered a glass in the studio. That was extraordinary.
Did she? I think
Yeah,
she tried
did.
and
She
didn't.
did.
Yeah, the wine glass.
You know, they
I'll
used-
get you the audio.
There used to be a story
Tom was
about
drinking it at the time, which is weird.
about a group of military men.
Oh, gosh,
No,
do
I'm not
Google
joking.
that.
Running with the
But
thing.
they were marching over a bridge, and the timing of their feet hitting the ground
Oh, here we go.
and the vibration that was met in the march either fractured the steel of the bridge
What?
or weakened something, but there was an accident Tom, if you can Google this.
Oh my
Save
God.
the story with detail.
And what
military
happened?
men, which is
I've
weird.
just finished Googling Whoopi Goldberg's real name, but
And the sound and the step in time,
yes,
the synchronised march,
yeah.
created a weakness. What was
Nothing
it,
comes
Tom?
up.
Yeah, I know. I've got the update here. Apparently, if you're in the army, you are warned when you're going on a bridge to break your stride, so that the vibration doesn't crack the bridge.
Well done, Whip.
Unfortunately, again, Whipper is correct.
Well, I mean, loosely correct.
Cars drive across the bridge,
Yes,
don't
but
they?
they're not making an in-time step, are they? They're not making a consistent step, creating a frequency.
So if we put soldiers on the Harbour Bridge and they all walked in time across the 6 lanes,
You get one line to skip, one line to walk, one line to run.
Can we go to Charlene? Charlene, congratulations on the Neighbours reunion, but also where did the glass shatter?
terrible.
Thanks so much.
Go to Charlene.
I'm a property manager, and we were walking through a house doing a exit inspection, and we walked past the bathroom, and the whole shower screen exploded, and we didn't know what happened, so we all bolted out of the house pretty much.
Yep, ghosties.
So, I mean, did you have clients through the house at that time, Charlene, or luckily not?
Yeah, we were walking through to do the exit inspection, just to make sure everything was okay. So the tenants who used to live there were with me.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty old house, actually. It was like 100 years old. So who knows? It might have been ghosty.
There
Do
it
you know
is.
what?
There it is.
That would, if I was buying that house, it would freak me out.
Me too. Charlene, have you ever met another Charlene?
Yes, I have.
Amazing
There you go.
stories.
That's amazing. That's amazing in itself,
Isn't it?
What about a Chanel? Chanel in Kensington. Where did the glass shatter, Chanel?
So mine was the shower screen as well, but I was in the shower, having a shower when it exploded.
Oh my God! Did it blow in on you?
Yeah, I had to go to hospital and have heaps of glass and stuff removed from my back in my head.
Did it like go through your skin? Because it was quite a bit of force, Chanel.
Yeah, I thought that it was that loud. It sounded like a gunshot, and it was just so out of nowhere. My mum and my partner come running in, and I was
bleeding.
As they're picking
Wasn't
glass
very
out of you.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Chanel number
For
5.
quite a few hours, and then they said that there was still some that was stuck, and that my body would just push it out.
And awkward too when you're nude and you've got to go in for an emergency like that. So always maintain in case a shower screen explodes on you.
Far out.
Find yourself, you
Very
know.
hard to put a towel around when you've.
Oh, bloody Chanel.
Do you know what I mean?
There it is.
There it is, guys. All right.
That is.
Good on
Thanks
you,
for your
Chanel.
calls.
Bye, Chanel.
The Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
How emotional Wembley Stadium when the Foo Fighters got up for a Taylor Hawkins tribute over the weekend. You would have seen this everywhere over the weekend. But Dave Grohl breaking down and crying times like these with the crowd cheering. If you missed it, have a listen to this.
It's times like these learn to live again. It's times like these to give and give.
He really struggled there. There was a moment where he just couldn't go on. I mean, that was just, like other performances, Taylor's 16-year-old son, Shane Hawkins, came in and got on the drums for There Goes My Hero. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. It's powerful.
It was really powerful. Paul McCartney performed. Brian Johnson from AC/DC. Nirvana's Chris Novoselic came out as well. Just so many amazing people there. It's so emotional. Then you also had Dave Grohl's daughter, Violet, got up and performed with Mark Ronson.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water.
Amy Winehouse
Beautiful
in our hometown of London.
And I think of all the things of what you're doing. And in my head I paint a picture.
Wow.
How good is that?
I mean, what a gig to go to.
I know, special tribute.
Well done to Dave. Because, I was thinking that there's no way that they could have ever performed again after that. That was his best mate.
Wouldn't be easy.
I mean, but Dave Grohl loves his music so much in performing live. You would think that the band would come back at some stage. Who takes over as drums, though?
Yeah, I know. I mean, if I was to have an accident, you guys would put on a pretty big tribute show. How would you go on? You probably couldn't.
Who would we replace you with?
Yeah, like, well, not replace me. How would the show go on if I...
Oh, no, we'd probably be back after 2 days or something.
You'd be in tears during
How much can we get?
Well, I would have to come back on air and tell everyone that I accidentally pushed you off the balcony.
I mean, you couldn't get through riddle time without crying, I'm sure.
It was an accident.
You're listening to the Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
Did anyone see Corey Worthington 2.0 over the weekend?
Fired up, wasn't he?
The guy over he was up in the Gold Coast. He was locked up for the night because he actually held a knife to someone at a petrol station. It was an alleged robbery. I think he'd had a few. He was only 18 years of age. But see, this is what the journos interviewed him going in to the cop station, right?
Yep.
And he fired up a little bit. And they thought, oh, this guy's a bit of a firecracker.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew he was going to get out the next day. So the two young journalists and reporters said, well, let's get our mics out again and we'll get some gold out of this guy. Yet this guy started having a crack back at them.
Dear.
So they thought, oh, we'll just keep quizzing him, keep prodding him, and we'll get something out of him.
The doorstop.
But have a listen to the 18-year-old having a go back at the report.
How's your night in the watch house?
Oh, yeah, pretty good, eh? Yeah. Your mum came around and she came visit me. I had a pretty good time, to be honest, yeah.
What are you going to do today?
Probably go see her again. It sounds like a good idea to me.
So you're going to go back to the watch house?
No, I'm going to go see his mum. Then I'm going to go see your sister.
Oh, whoa.
Doing a bit of mum and sister gear for a bit of a laugh on the way out of the slammer.
See, there is a moment where they're going, we're going to get some real quality gold here, the reporters, and they're like, oh, no, wait up, he's throwing it back onto us.
Yeah, mum. It's done a funny.
Don't have a sister.
Nah. But I'm going to go and visit her, mate. I mean, you would. Do you reckon you'd go for a joke? Like, if you've done a night in jail and you're coming out of the cell, I mean, has he spent most of the night thinking about what his one-liner's going to be?
There was, when I got locked up with Timmy Boston, right? And
here we go.
He was directing traffic in Melbourne, right, in the middle of an intersection. And the coppers came over and grabbed him and said, you're going into the lockup for the night. I went over and said, mate, we're from Adelaide. I'll look after him. And they're going, go away, mate. He's going in the lockup. I said, mate, come on, please. Like, he's
a good
he's
guy.
Intoxicated. I'll look after him. I'll take him back to the hotel. He said, well, you know what you can do? You can go in with him. So then I made one phone call to Mum and Dad, and Dad was like, oh, you're an idiot, an absolute idiot. And there was this moment where Timmy and I woke up in the morning, Sarah, and it was about 6 a.m, and we're going, I just can't wait. Because it's like a roller door. They open up a roller door from the cop station.
Do you have a one-liner?
And there was a moment where I was going, can't wait to see the boys. So the boys will be there waiting for us. The roller door opens and there's just no one there.
There's no one there. You thought it was like a scene out of the movie where finally, after 50 years, he's released.
The sun's coming up.
Yeah, not even a reporter.
And I'm looking at Timmy Boston going, I've just spent a night in lockup because of you.
Mm-hmm.
Did they give you a bed?
Yeah, it's a concrete bed. There was a guy in there, though, that was 1 minute... When we first walked in, he was my best mate, gave me a hug. Then he wanted to punch me. So I had to put my dukes up. Then I looked over, and I'd saved Timmy Boston, but I looked over, Timmy Boston was asleep on the concrete bed. So then for the next 4 hours...
You were on guard.
I had to hug this guy, and then I had to defend myself against this guy. So to the coppers, can you help me out here? I don't know if he's Jekyll or Hyde.
They did not care. Do you remember, I mean, in terms of having a one-liner, do you remember there was a guy and he was captured by the Taliban, I think, long time ago, and Australia sent over, he was an Aussie guy, Australia sent over the Mufti to get him out of there to negotiate his release. And he'd been there for a while, and he came out. They successfully released him, right? He hadn't seen his family or anybody for like 11 years. He came out, he goes, where do I get a VB from? Like he'd been in there. Don't turn the music up, Mac, I'm halfway through a story. So he's in there. He's captured. He's being fed minimal. He's dehydrated. He's burning out. And he's like, oh, my God, I've got all this time to think of a one-liner when I come out. And he's come out and gone, where do I...
Sorry, mate.
Sorry,
We've
mate.
had
We've
to cut
turned
you
you
off.
Time's up.
You've been cut off.
So
sorry.
Oh, Zach.
Guys, the mic's on.
So sorry, mate. We're gonna have to.
Turn the mic back on.
We're gonna have to cut you off, mate. You've had enough.
The Fitzy and Wippa Show is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.